for The View from Cyprus, who's held the EU rotating presidency for the past 6 months. I'm joined now here in the studio by Minister Mariana Rauna, Deputy Minister for European Affairs for Cyprus. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, Maeve.
Good to have you here.
To be here 12 days before the end of our presidency.
I know, it's been quite a busy period for you, so we're thrilled that you made it here to Europe today. And of course, on the 15th of June there, you did manage to open the first accession negotiations cluster, the first step to these talks that can kick off for the Ukraine to one day potentially enter the EU. Do you hope, though, to open the next cluster before you end the presidency?
Indeed, we had this milestone step in the accession negotiations of Ukraine as well as Moldova this week, the second accession conference, opening cluster 1. We worked extremely hard to get to this day. We made it very clear from the beginning that supporting Ukraine on all fronts was a top priority of the Cyprus presidency. We were led to this milestone step after having done all the front-loading work, all the technical work on all the clusters. We completed them. We presented those results at the General Affairs Council in March.
So do you want to open another one?
So
only 2 weeks to do it?
We will remain ambitious until the very last day of our presidency, and we will work with all member states and make all efforts to have even more positive developments. That I can say.
But not overpromising something that perhaps you cannot
deliver.
I
cannot prejudge, but what I can say is that we are working on it and we will continue working on it. There is momentum that has been created by this accession conference, and we want to continue building on that.
And your country is unique in the sense that you're the only EU country with a portion of its territory under occupation. How has that influenced your decisions when it comes to Ukraine?
It has given us a very unique perspective, Maeve. Cyprus is the last member state under military occupation that has experienced the devastating effects of the Turkish invasion that are enduring. This has given us a unique perspective into what is happening in Ukraine. And it has really driven our commitment and our work forward. We delivered on the Ukraine support loan, the 90 billion loan. We delivered on the 20th sanctions package, and we're already working on the 21st sanctions package.
And let's move on to the long-term budget.
Conference.
Because everyone in town is talking about this long-term budget. Of course, it'll be up to the Irish presidency to really push it through. As you heard there from our correspondent, Shona Murray, the stakes couldn't be higher. Now, you've proposed a 2% cut to the budget. Why?
So this was one of our most demanding files, our most challenging files, and that made us work extra hard with transparency, with inclusivity since day one of our presidency. On the volume of and we've put on the table the first revised negotiating box that actually has figures. And in addition to that, we delivered an agreement on the 3 important sectoral files.
This is the so-called nego box. But nobody likes this box.
Nego box.
The Dutch have called it the no-go box.
No one likes the first nego box with figures. We were well prepared with that. We are, however, confident, having worked intensively with all member states, that we worked as true honest brokers, and that in this nego box, which is a basis for negotiation, it is not the end of the road. There is something for every member state. We proposed a moderate 2% cut, bringing together as a compromise. And there were very opposing views on that. On some member states who wanted an ambitious budget, some member states wanted an even increased budget, and those member states who wanted extensive cuts.
So the pressure will be on the Irish presidency now, with so many elections taking place next year. But just you mentioned you're a small country, you're a so-called honest broker. Just on that point, you spoke last night to Bruno Le Maire, the former economy minister of France, and he had some suggestions on how the EU could work a bit better. Take a look.
All the European leaders must draw from the past month, and I would say from the past 2 years, is that if they want to be relevant and strong, they need to be united. And they don't need to be united with the 27 member states. They need to give a new impetus to the European construction by building a European with 6 core countries: France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Poland, and the Netherlands. 6 countries instead of 27 countries is the best way of reinforcing Europe, of facing the threat posed by many empires around the world, and to get some concrete results.
Your reaction to that, Minister, how does that make small countries feel?
I would say that the European Union is a union of 27 equal member states, bigger and smaller. Are decisions difficult to reach when you have 27 around the table? Absolutely. But unity is the greatest asset of the European Union, and particularly now when we see the complexities and the multitude of challenges that we face. But we have also proven something in the last 2 years. In the midst of truly unprecedented challenges that we have faced, the European Union was able to deliver on all fronts.
And of course,
unanimity has not been difficult, but we have always found a way, and we need to maintain our unity.
OK, and your presidency, of course, slightly overshadowed there by the US-Iran war. Minister, thank you so much for
I wouldn't say overshadowed.
Thank you so much.